What's up, game players? How are you guys doing? I'd like to welcome you guys to the Analog Circle Podcast, episode number 59. I'm your host, Keon Mitchell. Let me tell you, thank you guys, you the listener out there, for tuning in to another episode of the Analog Circle Podcast. Now, if you want to be a part of the show and leave your opinion, call the hotline. That's right, the Analog Circle has a hotline, folks. And the number is 443-261-4607. Be a part of the show. Call. That's all. Or if you don't want to call, matter of fact, you can email the show at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. If you want to listen to some previously recorded podcasts of the Analog Circle, go over to Stitcher, iTunes, Audio Mac, Google Play. Just, they're out there, brother. It's out there. But anyway, outside all of the shameful plugs, oh, it's so shameful. But like I told you guys, I want to get into the feedback section. That's how every show is going to start. So if you guys want to send those voicemails in, it can be questions, it can be comments, it doesn't matter. But you know, the MVP of this email thing, Mr. Cody Clark, he definitely voiced his opinion this week. And my question to you guys, you might remember or you might not, but the question I wanted to ask you guys was, what are your top 3 developers? Now, Mr. Cody Clark wrote in and he had this to say. The title of his email is, "Don't Make them like they used to." Oh, buddy. Here we go. He says, top 3 developers. Now, these are some real classic joints. Listen to this, y'all. Origin Systems, R.I.P. Ultima, Wing Commander. They were their games. Westwood Studios, R.I.P. Dune 2, Command and Conquer. Bullfrog Productions, R.I.P. Dungeon Keeper, Populous, oh my gosh! That was one of my first games where you actually had to build like a world or a city and all that. It was very interesting, man. They had little pickaxes and whatnot, cultivating the land and whatnot. Populous was awesome, but got Populous on the list. Magic Carpet, which was another PC game, came out later on the original PlayStation. Syndicate, oh man! And Syndicate Wars. He continues to say, yes, I realized they were all eaten and killed by EA. Perhaps that is a bit on the nose for me. Cody Clark, thank you for this email, brother. This feedback is incredible. You guys don't understand. Unfortunately, like Cody said, all of these studios are gone now. Wing Commander was the first, that and Wolfenstein. It was that, Wolfenstein, and King's Quest 1 or 2 were the first 3 PC games I saw that convinced me back in around 93, maybe 94, that I wanted a PC. I begged my mother and father, please, please, please let me get one of these. They didn't get me a PC, man. I might not have told y'all this. They got me a Commodore 64, which at the time, I can't lie, it had some pretty cool games on it, but it was not a PC. I didn't get the PC until about 2 or 3 years later when I had got an IBM, what was it, a PS something, a PS model, whatever. But it was, these games were heavily on PC at the time. Magic Carpet, Syndicate Wars, Populous. Well, even though Populous was on the Super Nintendo, that's where I played it. But Dune and Dune 2, this is a really good list, and it's sad. It's so sad that all of these games were killed off by EA and the studios to go along with them. But Cody, this was a fantastic email, brother. Thank you so much. I forgot all about these classic games, brother. Amazing. Thank you, Cody Clark. You are, once again, and probably will continue to be, brother, the email MVP. So with that being said, guys, man, oh man, that's my guy, Cody Clark. But what have I been into this week? Man, let me tell you, brother, I have just been on this daggone Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs 2 will not end. I have been playing this game for I don't know how long. I counted the hours. I got up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, it was about 1:30 in the morning. Couldn't sleep. I said, hey, let me jump on these sticks. I don't have to go to work until the next night. Let's see what I can do. I get on the game. I'm playing. Things are going just fine. Until I gotta figure out these hack type of codes and things. You gotta flip and switch the thing around and connect it. Man, I looked up, the sun was coming up, brother. I looked out my window and here comes the sun, like the daggone Beatles song. I said, God, dog, I figured I was about done. I figured it was almost over. Couldn't be too much more left. Man, I don't know when I'm gonna finish this game. I'm getting a little tired. I can't lie. I mean, it's a great game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of action, great graphics, a pretty okay story. You know, gameplay is good. I've enjoyed it, but it is starting to get to that point where the game is starting to just go on a little too long for me. But anyway, I've been into that. I'm trying to get into Prey. I haven't even played the demo of Prey yet. It's one of those games that I want to get into. I might pick it up depending on how I like the demo. I haven't heard too many great things about it yet, but just like I tell anybody, you have to experience it for yourself. So I'll probably be able to talk about that a little more next week. But outside of that, let's get into what we all come here for, brother. And that is the gaming news that went down. Starting out, now we got quite a bit this week, guys. We got quite a bit. I don't know why people thought it was a slow news week. I just have to beg to differ. Let's start it off now in some interesting Valve news. It looks like all of the original writers of Valve's Half-Life franchise have left the company. And now this actually happened in February of this year. It was a co-writer for Half-Life 2, episode 1 and 2. His name is Eric Wolpaw, has left Valve to work on Psychonauts 2, which should be pretty darn good. And today, the news has come out. Well, this isn't today. This was about 3 days ago, actually. The news had come out that Chet, hopefully I'm saying his name right. It's spelled C-H-E-T. Chet Felizek has also left Valve. Now, these two guys also worked on the story for Portal together and also put the narrative together for the Left 4 Dead series. Now, Felizek was also a key part of Valve's push into VR. And once again, he also pointed out that his leaving Valve was simply to change things up nothing more. So no scandal there, folks. Also, just as a recap, Mark Laidlaw, who was the author behind writing both Half-Life 1 and 2, left last year. So with that, the original writing team is gone. Could this truly be the nail in the coffin for the franchise? That is my question to y'all. Not the question of the week, but with all of these key players gone from the company that made that magic, that Half-Life magic happen to make people want the third sequel. What do you call it? I forget what you call it, where it's three of them and they call it a something. I don't know. A Trinity. I don't think it's the Trinity. Trilogy. For them to be gone, man, I don't know if it'll actually have the same magic that it had before. Now, yes, true, you can get some writers in there, you can get some guys in there to do what they do to try and bring this back to the forefront. A game that everybody is clamoring for, but without that cohesiveness, without the original team that have that kind of creativity vibe together, could you really get that same game, that same Half-Life experience that we're used to getting? I just don't know if it's possible. Nothing is impossible, but with everybody being gone, I don't know if you would get that same amount, that same feeling from the game. But we'll see. Valve is off with Steam. They're making millions upon millions of dollars. They are in no rush to bring out Half-Life 3. I don't think we'll ever see it, but who knows? Anything can happen. Moving on into some more gaming news. Now, it was announced by THQ Nordic and Gunfire Games that Darksiders 3 is currently in development and is scheduled to come out on Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4 sometime in 2018. Now, as far as the setting goes, it will be set in an open world with exploration and environmental puzzles. Now, the game will still keep its hack and slash roots and will focus on a new character named Fury, who will destroy physical versions of the 7 deadly sins. That is interesting. Wow. Now, I think, IGN actually had this. IGN first. If you guys want to go over there and see some pre-alpha footage of the game, it's looking pretty good. I think it might be something here. I've never played Darksiders. Not really my kind. Well, I'm not going to say it's not my kind of game, but I just haven't had the time or the chance or opportunity to actually play the game for myself. But I have heard nothing but great things about the game. So for people who thought that this franchise was dead and over, this is a really positive thing to see them actually going at it for a third time. So congratulations to THQ Nordic. I think this is great, and I think they're listening to their fan base who love this franchise. Now, as far as the female character Fury, people getting all up in arms, oh, it's a female, it's a woman, and this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something, brother. I don't give a darn. I don't care. Okay, if it's a fun game, if the character's interesting, if it makes sense, I'm all for it. Now, I gotta say that when you try to push a certain issue or try to make it like I'm so pro-woman and this, that, and the third, and it doesn't really fit the narrative, and you can tell that they're just trying to pigeonhole it in there just to check a box off. That's when you lose me. But to my knowledge, knowledge. Everyone has been saying that this character, Fury, was in the previous games. So that alone shows that they're not trying to pigeonhole anything or have an agenda. I say go for it, and I wish him the best. I hope this game sets the gaming world on fire, and it brings in a new audience of people who will or possibly could appreciate what Darksiders is. Moving on to the next story. Now, details have been released on what to expect from Yooka-Laylee's first update. Now, Playtonic said that they will be adding the following improvements. Now, you will have the ability to skip cutscenes. You'll be able to skip through dialogue more quickly. You'll be able to reduce the game's gibberish voice acting, and the camera will be getting a refinement as well, which was one of the big complaints about the game. I remember hearing that. Now, there was no official date given as to when these updates will happen, but Playtonic did say it will be rolling out in the coming weeks. Now, I do remember, man, everybody that played Yooka-Laylee had high hopes that this game was going to perform amazingly, that it was going to put them back in the mindset of Banjo-Kazooie. That's what everybody was hoping for, the Nintendo 64. Banjo-Kazooie. I'm not talking about nuts and bolts. Nobody wanted that. Everybody wanted the N64 Banjo. Now everybody said, oh my goodness, it's the Rare original team who worked on the game. This is going to be magical. Oh, this is going to be great. And when people got it, it didn't seem like it was too great, did it? Now that's the thing. That's the thing. Everybody goes off of nostalgia. That is a driving force. That's why I wanted the Nintendo Mini. God dog it, Nintendo. That's why I wanted it. It drives sales. But people said that when they played Yooka-Laylee, it was outdated. People said the controls had came and went. There was no longer a viable option to have the controls like that. And the camera was awful from what I hear. So now Playtonic is getting back on their grind. They're tweaking a couple more things. And I gotta tell you, I saw the camera, the new camera angle, and it looks really good. It follows so well with the characters. I mean, they move around nice and easy. It pans around really good. So I think that people that bought Yooka-Laylee and took a chance on it and really believed in Rare, I think that these updates, these upgrades to the, in the patch that'll be coming down the pipe later on this year, I think it'll really make the game much more enjoyable. But like I said, no release date has been given, but just hold on, Yooka-Laylee players. It's coming. It is coming. Moving on into some Remedy news. We found out a few short weeks ago, oh man, this was shocking, that they said they wanted to expand their horizons past just working on the Xbox platform and expanded their Northlight engine support to the PlayStation 4 platform. We also found out they were working on another project entitled Project 7. Well, it has been confirmed that this title will be released on the PlayStation 4. On top of that, we have a few details about the game. Now, these are the details as follows. It's going to be a cinematic third-person shooter. Oh, that sounds kind of nice. Set in a new universe. So right there, any guess about this being an Alan Wake sequel, that is debunked. Because right now they're saying it's going to be a new universe. That means no Quantum Break either. I'm taking it. So, all of that is totally out the window. Brand new ideas. Moving on to what the game is going to entail some more things that were leaked out. It's going to feature an intriguing story and a game structure offering a long-lasting experience. Could this be what Phil Spencer was talking about? When people were saying, oh, they're getting rid of single player, I don't like it, this is terrible, when Phil did not say that, but I'm gonna stick to the script here. Like I said, they said it's gonna offer a long-lasting experience. The game mechanics, what did they say? The game is also, and I quote, this is what they said. This is Remedy. They said it contains the deepest game mechanics yet in a Remedy game. Once again, that's according to Remedy. Now this is what they always say. It's going to be deep mechanics. It's going to be so immersive. It's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. Every new game is the best game that they ever made, and that's just how it goes. I don't agree with that being the case all the time, but hopefully Remedy will, they will deliver. But we will see. Now, the game will be published. This is so interesting, too. The game is going to be published by 505 Games. Now, as always, no target release has been confirmed. Also, it's worth noting, there was no mention, I'm sure it will, but there was no mention of an Xbox One version. They really put a lot of emphasis on this being on the PlayStation 4. Now, that could be totally just to let people know that they are going completely third party. That could just be something of them just what's the word I'm looking for? Reiterating that, hey, we're no longer with Xbox. Okay, we're with PlayStation as well. It could have been that kind of wording. Who knows? But anyway, I mean, man, Remedy, God dog, brother, you were working with Microsoft. And Sony wouldn't pick you up for this one. EA wouldn't take on the brunt of the money for the production. You got 505. Oh, 505. God dog. I remember 505 back in the day, if I'm remembering correctly. Man, this was some years ago. I think they used to make a football game back on the original PlayStation. 505 Sports or something like that. But God dog, how the mighty have fallen. Man, but hopefully Remedy will have a good one on their hands with this. I hope so. We will see. Moving on into some more news. Now, if you were looking forward to hearing that, this is a little sad, but if you were looking forward to hearing or seeing more on Shadow of the Tomb Raider at E3, sadly, that won't be the case. Now, this was debunked by Crystal Dynamics senior community manager Megan Marie, who said, and I quote, "This will be a quiet E3 for Laura, but we're looking forward to catching up on her new adventure later this year." End of quote. So it looks like even though the game won't be at E3, we still could get some details about the game before the end of the year. So maybe she may show up at PlayStation Experience. Who knows? I mean, Microsoft, they got the exclusive rights before. Maybe Sony wants to go and get the exclusive rights for the next one. I mean, god dang, Sony has been on a binge. Sony has been at the buffet table eating up all kinds of food. I mean, they got Red Dead Redemption. They got Battlefront. What else do they have? They got another a third one that's a major one that they have in their stable for the marketing. I can't think of it right now, but 2 out of the 3, those are huge games. Red Dead Redemption alone, just to have snagged that one, man, that is a huge, huge win. Now I understand that it's going to be out on the Xbox One. It's going to be out on the Scorpio. And hey, who knows? Maybe Rockstar will put some kind of assets in there to take advantage of the Scorpio's power. I don't know if they're going to do that 100% because we know that they like to keep everything pretty much on even ground, that being the developer. But they may push it a little bit because they do have the PlayStation 4 Pro where they could push the envelope a little bit more, which would mean that if they did that, then obviously they could do it for the Scorpio. But Sony is on a doggone tirade. They're making sure that they have these big games because my point that I was going to make is we know that these games will be out on the other platform, but when you advertise these games on the TV and then it says PlayStation, or greatness awaits and it shows the PlayStation logo, people who are not in the know automatically think, oh shucks, I gotta go get a PlayStation 4 if I want to experience Red Dead Redemption. Now, I did not think that knowledge or that something being perceived that way was real until I talked to my cousin. And my cousin said, man, that new Call of Duty looks great, but I only have a PlayStation. I don't have an Xbox. I said, brother, now, this was a 360 generation. He's not a big gamer, so he's not keeping up with everything that's new. But I said, brother, you can get it on the PlayStation 3. It's there at the store on the shelf. He didn't even bother to go look for it. He just said, man, it's, Xbox is plastered all over this thing. I'm going to have to get a 360 if I want to experience it. But that is the average consumer. We are the hardcore. It's not nearly as many hardcore fans versus casuals. And if you don't believe me, then all you got to do is go to the Wii to tell you that the casual market, it outshines us hardcore guys. We're going to be there. We're always going to be the core. But they make their most money off of the casual market. And you go to the Wii was the less powerful console, but it sold more than the other two. And who bought that? Casual people. So never undermine the casual market. But we'll see how this goes. Lara Croft, she's not here at E3, but hopefully later on this year she will make a splash. Moving on into some PlayStation VR news, which is interesting, but not, I don't know. Listen, for any PlayStation VR owners out there, we know it's a bit of slim pickings for y'all right now. But just to let you know, Tekken 7 will be PlayStation VR compatible. Now, if you want to see how it looks, all you have to do is go to Shirako YouTube, his YouTube channel. Now, you spell that Shirrako. I'm saying Shirako. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. I saw it. I said, this is not good. This is not good at all. All it does, man, is you can look to the left and to the right of the screen. The screen just moves a little bit. That's it. It's not anything immersive. It's not anything next level that enhances the game at all. You're just looking to the left, and to the right, That's it. I don't think it's worth the money. If this is what you got to work with the PlayStation VR, I'm going to have to say, nay, don't worry about it. But if you just have to get something just to have yourself feel a little better about this purchase, because that's a $400 to $500 purchase. And you don't want it to just sit there and collect dust. You'll want to use it. Pick up Tekken 7. Maybe it'll make you feel just a little better. I hope it does. But, moving on into some E3 news. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy, it is here. It is coming, man. Next month, oh, it's E3, brother, and I'm gonna be in full swing mode, god dog it. Now, oh man, I lost my place. All right, Sony will have their E3 conference. They got the time, so here we go. Sony is gonna go on Monday, June 12th. Now, they're going to be on the E3 stage at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's on me, East Coast time. And that means that they're going to be on the stage at 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Now, that just goes to show for anybody that was thinking Sony was going to go on Sunday, this clearly shows that that is not the case. So anybody who's looking forward to Sony's conference, be there. 9 p.m. if you're on the East Coast like me, or 6 p.m. if you're on the West. This is going to be so interesting. I really thought that Sony was going to bump up their time a little bit, because Microsoft is going on Sunday at, what are they going at? I don't want to give you guys the wrong time. I got to look that up. But I thought they were going to go early evening, late afternoon, somewhere around that slot where Ubisoft fits in. But man, they are going the same exact time, which is amazing. I would have thought they would have bumped it up. Now, Sony is feeling real good, folks. Oh, they're feeling good. Yeah, they got 60 million units shipped out there. They're selling. They are the leader. They got a lot of games, brother. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Sony's conference. I think it's going to be wonderful. I want to see some more on The Last of Us 2. I want to see some more on Spider-Man. I want to see some more on Detroit. I need this. I need this. And Sony, don't do the PlayStation 5 thing there either. Don't do that mess. I don't believe it. The guy, his last name was Thong. I don't believe that it's gonna happen. I mean, we all know that Sony makes a slim model, Xbox makes a slim model, and I mean, hey, I understand he got the PlayStation 4 Pro thing, right? By predicting that to happen, but I don't think Sony's gonna do that. There's no need. Keep the PlayStation 5 as a card until about 2020, but run this train out. Do your thing, Sony. Moving on. Now, in more rumor-verse news. This is really interesting. Now, a cosplayer who goes by the name of, Leon Shiro, who does cosplay professionally and has been employed by Square Enix to play Gladio in the past, as well as Arno from Assassin's Creed. Anyway, he recently redid himself as Dante from Devil May Cry and said that he was training hard because Dante would be back in May. Now, this could be a possibility because Capcom has said that they do have a major game that is in development. Could this be the game? DMC. Now, the last DMC we saw, it wasn't even by Capcom. I believe it was Ninja Theory who did the last DMC, which actually was a good game. I can't speak on it personally because I did not pick it up, but people actually said it was a good game. They enjoyed it. Now, we know that Capcom lately, outside of Resident Evil 7, which of course is part of a long franchise from Capcom, we know that Capcom has been double and triple dipping into their past franchises. I mean, heck, they just came out with the Disney Afternoon pack or whatever that had, Tailspin, Chip and Dale, Darkwing Duck in there, yeah, they don't mind dipping into their back catalog. So with this guy actually doing this professionally, being hired by Square Enix, and him saying that he's training, he's getting back into the flow, and saying that Dante is going to be back in May, man, this would be dope for people that are DMC fans. We just may see another sequel, but who knows? Take it with a mustard seed grain of hope, but we shall see. We're about midway through May, so if something's gonna happen, we'll hear about it soon. Moving on now, this was something I did not expect. Here we go. Now, while we were hearing many rumors about God of War releasing this year, it looks like that may not be the case, according to a Twitter post that was put up by Christopher Judge, who is the voice of Kratos. Now, his tweet read, "Father, husband, actor, voice artist, producer, writer, golfer, Kratos, God of War 2018. God dog it! Darn it! I really thought that God of War was gonna make it out this year. Now, I don't know, maybe the tweet might be to throw people off. That could be a possibility. But we had heard rumor after rumor that it was coming, but that's why it's called rumors. Nothing is set in stone. That's why I always say, whenever I report on rumors, take it with a mustard grain of hope. That's it. But dag it, so this looks like this is not going to make it out this year. 2018 is the earliest that we'll see it. Looks like on top of The Last of Us 2, you know that's not coming out this year. It's been talks that Detroit might not make it out this year. I'm gonna ask you guys a question a little later, but I'm sure you see the groove that I'm getting into, but we're gonna touch on that a little later. But we'll see what happens with this. Man, dag, that's sad news, brother. But moving on to the next story. Now, for people looking forward to 2K18, this is NBA 2K18, the game will have a few special editions when it's released this fall. Now, this year's Hall of Fame player is my guy, man. I really like this dude, man. Shaquille O'Neal. Now, isn't it funny, though? Isn't it kind of funny that they had Kobe Bryant on the cover last year? Well, soon to be last year. And have Shaq on the cover this year. A little tongue in cheek, I don't know. But anyway, Shaquille O'Neal is going to be on the front cover, and it will include Shaq memorabilia and digital items. So, what you can expect to get in the Legendary Edition is a Shaq poster, stickers, in-game currency, and items, among other things. Now, the Gold Legend Edition also includes a lenticular print and more virtual currency. So to get more specific, the Legend Edition will include a limited edition Shaq poster, 5 Panini trading cards, hope I said that right, exclusive stickers. Now, the digital content will include $100,000 in virtual currency, 20 weekly My Team packs, Shaq in-game items as well. Now, the Gold Legend Edition comes with a limited edition Shaq poster, a lenticular, whatever that is, I don't know, 10 Panini trading cards, exclusive stickers, Now, the digital content will include $250,000 in virtual currency, 40 weekly My Team packs, Shaq in-game items, and this is the kicker. The Legend Edition is going to cost $100, which, if you're into the game, that's not too bad. But the Gold Legend Edition is gonna cost $150. God dang it. Can't you give me a daggone Shaq, what is it, man? A Shaq, not a statue. God dang it. Give me a Shaq statue for that daggone much money, 2K. God darn. $150, man. I can't even get a Shaq doggone statue posting somebody up. God dang, a dunking or breaking the backboard. Something, man. Shoot. But anyway, for any people that are into 2K, that's going to be the man this year. And, you guys go ahead, pick it up and love it. Play it. It'll be out this fall. Dang it. That's a ways off, man. I don't even think the NBA, the season ain't even ended, but it's coming to a close. Anyway, goddamn. Moving on. Now, it's a possibility. Now, this is for PC guys. It's a possibility that PC fans will be getting another cult classic. Now, this speculation is coming way of Sega when they posted an image on social media which contained a logo in the year 2017, which fans of Vanquished recognized the logo. Now, the logo is actually found on the main villain's armor. So who knows? Maybe, just maybe, like Bayonetta, Vanquish could be coming to the PC in the near future. And you guys remember, I was talking about it when Bayonetta had released on the PC. They said that they would love, Platinum Games would love to release their other games on the PC, but it is up to the publisher to actually give them the power to do that. So who knows, since Bayonetta sold over 100,000 copies the first week, I think it would behoove them not to do the same thing for Vanquished when people are asking for it, when the PC guys want to embrace it. They want to run it at 4K, 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second. I don't know what y'all doing. But anyway, this could happen, and I think it would be great for the PC guys to get this game to really complete not really complete the trilogy, anything like that. They're two totally different games, but to get two really good Platinum games on their platform. Moving on into some more EA news now. It has been announced that UFC 3, from EA of course, is going to release between January 1st and March 31st, 2018. So UFC fans, you got a bit of a ways to wait. God darn, that's a ways out, but get ready. Yeah, get ready. It doesn't look like, I was hoping, man. I was really hoping, daggone it, for another fight night. Now I understand that boxing isn't as popular as it used to be. I get it. I know it's not front and center like UFC is, but I was hoping EA was going to make my dreams come true with another boxing game. Now, I actually have both UFCs, the first one and the second one. And I'm going to tell you, it took me a while to get into them, a little bit. I mean, it's a lot of trial and error. It's not as clear cut as Fight Night. You know, Fight Night, you're jabbing, you're hooking, you're uppercutting. You know, it's not all of these elbows being used and knees being used and feet and all of that stuff and getting a person on the ground and grappling them and putting them in submission moves. It ain't none of that, you know, but as I played UFC and I really got the hang of it, you actually don't have to put people in submissions and all of that stuff. I just stand up and I box people, and it's actually a good game. It's actually really good. It's not bad. It's a learning curve. I'll say that. It is a heck of a learning curve to really get in there and really get good at the game. But once you get the hang of it, man, it's a very, very good looking game to look at. So I'm looking forward to UFC 3. It would have been great though. Not great. It would have been excellent to have gotten an announcement that a fight night was coming down the pipe. But, unfortunately, that's just not going to happen right now. So, UFC 3 coming out 2018. Now, moving on into the last story that is still EA related. Now, for game players that are looking forward to BioWare's next project, it's going to be released between April 2018 to March 2019. That is the window. Now, the delay of the game's release was made by EA CEO Andrew Wilson. Now, the project is being described as an action adventure, not an RPG title, though it was said the game will still have plenty of RPG style character progression. Now, Wilson also reiterated that it will be a live service, which could mean the game could possibly be likened to Star Wars Online. What was it, Knights of the Old Republic Online? Could be something like that, or maybe, I don't know, WoW, maybe. It could be something like that, or heck, it might even be like Bungie's Destiny. I don't know. But also, this is the first new intellectual property from BioWare since 2009. Now, I thought that this game was going to come out a little earlier, but unfortunately, like I said, their CEO, he pushed it back a whole nother fiscal year, and hopefully it'll be for the best when it releases. It will hopefully be great. I was hoping and pleading, and I'm not going to say praying, but I was praying for another KOTOR, an official KOTOR. I was hoping they were working on that, but no, it's a new IP, and they're gonna just go and, I guess, make it a live service. I don't know, man. I mean, you guys got the details, but we'll see how this comes out in the wash. Maybe EA will show off something that'll blow our socks off at E3. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that is the end of this week's gaming news. But that's okay. You guys stay tuned, because we will be back after this week's video game theater. Stay tuned, guys.
Well, what about Shepard? Earthborn, but no record of his family.
Doesn't have one. He was raised on the streets. Learned to look out for himself.
He proved himself during the Blitz. Held off enemy forces on the ground until reinforcements arrived.
He's the only reason Elysium is still standing.
We can't question his courage.
Humanity needs a hero. And Shepard's the best we've got.
I'll make the call.
Arcturus Prime relays in range. Initiating transmission sequence. We are connected. Calculating transit mass and destination. Relay is hot. Wiring approach vector.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1,500K.
1,500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment, so you hate him.
You remember to zip up your
And welcome back. God dog it. So if you guys are not familiar, this is the last section of the podcast where I have to ask you a question, and of course, you'll see the question already posed in the title. But the question that I have to ask you guys this week, and I want you to hear me out, because I know some people are going to say this guy's got some hate in him. This guy's not trying to give them their props or their proper due. But before you guys say that, listen to me. Hear me out first. But the question I want to ask you guys, I'm probably going to get heat. People are probably going to say I'm a fanboy, and I'm not. I despise that. I'm not a fanboy, okay? I want to definitely put that out there first and foremost. I have always had all of the consoles. Nintendo has always been shaky. I can't say I've had all of them. But Sony and Microsoft, I've had every single one. And I love them. You guys have heard me talk about Sony so much on such high positive notes. But I have to ask, man, does Sony have any major games left for 2017? Now, I say this in the context of Spider-Man has been already debunked as not coming out this year. God of War, like I talked about in the show, that's been debunked as not coming out this year. The Last of Us 2, we know that's not coming out this year. Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's game, we know that is nowhere near being complete. And also, to top off the list, we haven't really heard anything, which could change at E3. It really could. Any of these could change, whether it be Spider-Man or God of War. But The Last of Us and Death Stranding, that's not happening. But Days Gone, we have not heard anything about this game either. So people are saying that Microsoft doesn't have anything, that they only give the fans and the people that support them and their platform games during the holidays. Sony came out the gate like a freaking cannonball, just boom. They came out with Yakuza 0. They have Horizon Zero Dawn. They came out with Gravity Rush 2. Uncharted, The Lost Legacy is going to be out later this year. They've had Nier Automata, they've had Neo, and they've had Persona 5. All release before May, by May or before May. But with all of those major releases being already out in the wild, they're here right now. And we know that some game players have a short memory. Now, what is the rest of the year looking like for Sony? The only other game, like I said, that I know is coming out later on this year, and that's in August, is Uncharted, The Lost Legacy. Now, could these third-party deals be the reason for that? Because they know that their second half could possibly be lacking. That's why they have the Star Wars Battlefront deal. If it's still coming out this year, they have Red Dead Redemption as well. And I keep forgetting that third game that they have, but it's escaping me, but it's major. Could it be, Call of Duty? That's it. Call of Duty. They also have that as well. So could it be a case that Sony said, look, we're going to strike right now in the early first half of the year. In the second half, we may not have a lot, but we're going to get these exclusive deals to really kind of hold us over and have that perception that we are the place to play. Now, by no means is this to discredit Sony. Sony has done amazing, incredible. I take nothing away from them. I've been playing on their platform. All of my third parties, I've been playing on their platform. But to keep it fair, do they have anything else left? Anything major left for 2017? Everybody's coming down on Microsoft, saying Microsoft doesn't have this, they don't have that. And yes, they are lacking right now. I agree. But who knows what their second half is going to look like? So that's the question in a nutshell. Does Sony have any major games left for 2017? I would love to get your comments. You can send your comments, your feedback to the hotline. That is 443-261-4607, or you can email your response at the Analog Circle Podcast at gmail.com. That's about it for this week, guys. I had to ask this question. Man, we'll see how it goes. But with that being said, guys, that is it for this week. I want to truly thank every last one of you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Analog Circle Podcast. And like I say every week, we'll be back. That's it for this week, but we will be back next week. But until then, you guys take care, and remember this. It's not about the console. It's never been about the console. It is about the games. That's all that matters. You guys take care. Be safe out there. Bye-bye.